Welcome to the Human Resources Operations Guide series. The first video covers the basic forms. Please refer to the entire Liaison series to fully understand how to complete forms for specific actions. State Civil Service as well as the Louisiana Department of Health requires a standard form, or combination of forms, to check validity of the request to change an employee's job title, position location, salary, or employment status. Commonly called a request for personnel action. After reviewing this video, you will understand how to fill out human resources forms for various personnel actions, what information is needed, where to find it, and what steps are required before the entry is completed. You have the option to pause or go back to a portion of the video at any time, to fully complete each document. Within your role as a human resources liaison, you will hear several abbreviations. This list defines each abbreviation used throughout this video. The entire set of human resources forms can be found on the Louisiana Department of Health SharePoint site, by typing DHHNET in the Internet browser. Next, click on Human Resources, under Employee Resources. You will find HR forms under Libraries. Click on the HR form needed. For example, the HR1, Request for Personnel Action form, is located here. Once the form is open, perform a File Save As function in order to save the document to your personal computer. Do not type in the form before saving it to your computer, as the information you type may overwrite the blank file in our database. Please check back often, as our forms are updated periodically. The Louisiana Department of Health Request for Personnel Action form is the first document to review. The form is commonly called an HR1 and is used to make just about any personnel action. First, make sure you have the most recent form. The top right corner has been magnified to locate the revised date. As is the case for all HR forms. To cover how to fill out the form, let's divide it into 3 sections. To begin completing the HR1, enter the effective date, and end date, if applicable. A detail, WAE appointment, and job appointment will have a set end date. Enter the employee's legal name on the next line. The personnel number section will be left blank for new hires, but for all other actions, this should be completed. The personnel number can be found by looking up the Employee in Time Manager's Workplace, or PTMW, using the SAP user menu. The office/facility section should be completed with the section that the position is located in. For example, LDH/OPH or LDH/MBA. If you are unsure, please consult with your supervisor to find your specific area. The section/unit is position specific, and your supervisor can inform you of the correct information if it is not known. The employee status and time status can be found on the position form for the position, which is to be filled. The position form can be found by searching ZP115 in ISIS-LOGOV. On the position form, EE subgroup shows what the employee's status will be, and the employee group section of the position form provides information for the time status section. In our example, the employee is a classified employee, working full-time. Please consult with your section for time administrator name, time administrator code, and work schedule. In the case that you are not clear how to fill out the form, contact your HR analyst. Next, the action being requested should be selected. The Word document version of the HR1 has a clickable drop-down list. Clicking in the yellow, highlighted section will give a list of possible actions. The second list of possible options are found under the Actions Continued drop-down list. Actions such as suspension and transfer can be found listed here. Other can also be selected if you do not see the desired action. The explanation box should be used to give more details if you selected Other. The explanation box can also be used to fully describe the action selected from the drop-down list. For example, if an employee transfers out, the explanation box can be used to provide the agency the employee will transfer to. We have 2 choices when it comes to the position information of the HR1. Will the action requested require a current employee to move to a new position, or is it the appointment of a new employee to a position? Both the to, and from, signed are required for a current employee. This gives a clear map to show the current employee's position information, and the position information that he or she will fill when the entry is made. Can't find the info for the from side? Leave it blank and fill out the most important side, which is the to side. The ZP115 is the multi-purpose report that will aid in the completion of this section. However, it will not have the employee's current and future salary. The salary will be pulled from the COE issued for the action by HR, or the salary calculation performed for the designated move. Salary calculations are explained in Appendix A and Appendix B of the HR 11, the Human Resources Liaison Checklist. A new employee will only require the position to be filled side. Next section asks if a funding swap is required. Please consult with your budget section. Moving on to our last set of questions. References are completed for employees new to state government, but can also be used if an employee moves from one office or section to another, if the gaining section chooses to. A successful or higher PES rating is required for performance adjustments, promotions, or permanent status. Also, detail to a higher position will not be granted, unless approved in advance by the Director of Civil Service. Check with your HR analyst if a drug test is required. Signatures. Leave the first signature box blank. A human resources representative will sign. The second signature is for the appointing authority or designee, for your section. The third and final signature will be completed by your budget section. The budget signature must be completed prior to sending to human resources. This may require the document to be sent to your HR manager, or sent to the budget section, prior to turning it in. A budget signature is critical, and the action will not be processed without it. Next, the LDH, Justification for Temporary Appointments, or HR3 form, can be found in the same Forms section of the intranet as the HR1. Make sure that you have the most recent version of the form. This form must be completed, along with the HR1, for AWAE, job appointment, or detail. Fill out the identification section, at the top as it appears on the HR1. Select the type of appointment, WAE, job appointment, or detail, and select the appropriate reason for the appointment. The appointing authority or hiring manager will be the best resource for the appointment reason. If this is being completed for a detail to special duty, please answer the prerequisites appropriately. If the answer is no to any of the questions, prior civil service approval is required before moving forward. Contact HR for further guidance. The Civil Service Rule, 6.5G, request form, is used to request a salary above the minimum for an appointment. The 6.5G represents the location of the pay policy in the Civil Service Rules. Chapter 6, Section 5G. The 6.5G should be used for applicants, or employees, who have qualifications and credentials that are significantly higher than the minimum qualifications of the position. Consult with a compensation HR analyst for guidelines and requirements. Type DHHNET into the Internet browser. Select Human Resources, and then Training. The video is entitled, Proper Completion of a 6.5G. Request training video. The voluntary demotion letter, or HR 67, will be completed by an HR analyst, and the employee who is demoting will need to review and sign. The letter will list the employee's name, new position and pay level, old position and pay level, as well as the section/unit, and effective date. The letter also states the civil service rule governing demotions. The employee should read and understand this information completely. If further explanation is needed, please contact HR. The Resignation and Exit Form, or SF-14, is to be used for resignations, retirements, or transfers to another state agency. In the case of an agency transfer, please request that the employee provide the agency that he or she is transferring to, in the remarks section. This is vital to avoid overpayments and other critical payroll issues. After selecting the primary reason for resignation, the employee should complete their name, department/agency, position title, resignation effective date, personnel number, and then sign-in date. The appointing authority signature should be obtained prior to forwarding to HR. A letter of resignation from the employee may be the only document the employee chooses to complete, if anything at all. The separation can still be processed if he or she chose to not fill out the SF-14. However, please notify your HR analyst as soon as possible if you know an employee will be resigning, but you do not have all of the completed documents. It is very important that HR be made aware of a resignation, or transfer as soon as possible, so the separation can be processed timely. The next item was created as an additional tool to go along with the training videos. The Human Resources Liaison Checklist, or HR 11, contains the items needed for HR actions. The actions include probational appointments, reallocations, details, and many others. This document is quite helpful, and should serve as a quick reminder for HR requests. The HR 11 is also available on the Internet, HR Forms site, just like every document covered in our video series. The Personal Data Form, or HR 9, is used for current employees if an address change, name change, emergency contact change, or marital status change is required. The name should be completed exactly as it appears on the Social Security card. The form should be completed in its entirety, no matter what change is being made. A copy of the new Social Security card is required for a name change. No exceptions. Next, the ZMD sheet, or Employee Notification Form, can be accessed to give a view of an employee's profile. Information like pay, position history, address, contract type, are available. Use the following steps if you are not familiar with locating the report in ICIS LogGov. First, type ZMD sheet into the ICIS search bar, and press enter. Next, type the personnel number of the employee, and the employee's personnel area. The report can be run at this point by clicking execute. The report will show the last 3 actions, jobs, positions, and pay history entries. We do have the option to see a full history of entries by selecting the appropriate comprehensive history option. Lastly, we will cover the position form, which was discussed earlier in the video. This form gives a detailed view of a position, and includes information like title, parish, cost center, etc. Use the following steps to access the report. First, type ZP115 into the ICIS search bar and click enter. Next, type the position number and personnel area. The report can be run at this point by pressing execute. We do have the option for a full relationship history by checking the box next to include relationship history. If you have any questions, contact the HR office at 225-342-6477.